issues with it. Yeah, okay, so sure, not yet. That's fine. So yeah, today, let me kind of start over. Today we're going to just do a quick review for the test, and then go over some housekeeping things over the last few weeks of the semester. Let me get everything, the video kind of put in the right folder. There we go. Quantitative reasoning. There you go. Okay. Yeah, and I sent an email earlier today because the YouTube playlist wasn't popping up in the Blackboard shell. I have no idea why. I don't know if it's a me thing. It could be on my computer, honestly. But if you go into, let me see. If we go into, your course shell, yeah, it's still showing it. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to do a little screen share thing. Screen one, yeah. So right now, this is your Blackboard shell, introduction, syllabi. If you click on lecture videos, it goes to this one for my side. If it doesn't for you, that's great. But when you click on it, you get a weird error. So I sent an email out earlier this morning, and it just had a link directly to the playlist. If you did not get that email, let me know. I'll email you again. That's not a big deal. But it's a direct link to the playlist. And when you click on that link, I believe the new videos are at the very bottom of the page. So make sure that that you've gotten that. That way you can watch the video, which I know if you're not watching it now, you wouldn't know that, but you got to check your email. Okay, so let me stop and then go back. And then let's look just for a minute on course scheduling for the rest of the semester, which is crazy. We're almost done. So today is the review for Test 5, which is week 13, Wednesday. Week 14 is next week, of course, because this is week 13. And we're going to have the test on Monday. And then you're going to have 2 days to work on the final paper just independently. We're not going to meet for class. If you want to meet me, that is A-okay. Email me. I will be more than happy to meet you in class or in Mom's hour. Not a big deal. But we will not have class next Wednesday and next Monday. Those 2 days are set aside for you to work on the final paper, okay? They're set aside for you to work on the final paper. I will be here if you need me. Just email me. Not a big deal. And then the last Wednesday before the final papers due, we'll have a review day that day for the final. So I'll email this out too. I know I've got it in the video, but I'm going to email it out as well. So that last Wednesday, which will be, the 28th, that day we'll have a regular class session. So really, this is the last regular class session before 2 Wednesdays from now, because next Monday will be the test. Next Wednesday and the Monday after that are going to be meant for independently working on the final paper. And then the 2 Wednesdays from now, the 28th, is when we will have a review day. And then that 2 days later is when I'll open the final. That April 30th, that Friday, I'll open up the final. It'll be open all day, just like kind of how I did the regular test. It'll be open all day and then until midnight. So you guys, Emily, Weston, do you have any questions about that? Anything coming up over the next few days or next week? It's crazy. It's almost over. Yay. You can type it in chat or butt in here. Okay. Either is fine. Gotcha, Weston. Is it going to be overall? Yes, the final is comprehensive. Yeah, the final is comprehensive. And the best thing to do is to look at all of your tests. So go through and look at all of your tests, see what you made. And really that review day, that'll be the best thing to do. I would do that before the review day, Emily. So go through your test, look to see what you got, look to see what you got wrong. And then on that Wednesday, come in with questions because we can go over everything that Wednesday or before that. If you want to go with me in office hours, that's fine too. But we can go over what we got wrong, why we got it wrong, or even, for a lot of this, it's just been time now. So it's, forgetting things. So if going back over and going, oh, I got that right, but I don't remember how I got it right. So it'll give you some time to kind of remember that stuff. But yes, it is all over chapter. It's cumulative. Good question. Checking something. Okay. Put my phone on silent. Sorry about that. Okay, phone is on silent. Okay. Any other questions? I know Michaela, you just got in here. That's fine. I just kind of went over the rest of the lectures, what we're going to be doing. I would go back and watch this from the beginning when you get a chance. But we're following this. We're following the script. Nothing crazy, nothing. But it'll just keep you updated. Okay. Great. Well, I'm going to go over, do you guys have any questions before I just kind of go over what you need to know? I'm going to look at the test. Very straightforward. I'm going to have the test on this other monitor. So maybe if you look in the reflection of my glasses, you can see the test. But I was just going to go over what to hit, what to make sure to emphasize when you're studying. Pretty straightforward. And just kind of work it that way. Just do a review that way. Let me see if I can get into the test. I should be able to. I should have the rights to the test. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the first section we covered, which was 9A. Let me get the book out real fast. Ooh, I gotta sneeze. So 9A, this test is over 3 sections, 9A, 9B, and 9C, and they're all about modeling. So creating equations from different real-world applications and really modeling real-world applications. So 9A was introduction to functions and to different variables, actually, the independent and dependent variables. So I'll tell you, the first thing you've got to understand is that where the independent and the dependent variable come from. Remember, your Y value, which is your range, which is your dependent variable. Okay, you've got to know that, and there's questions involving just understanding Y value, range, dependent variable, and then X values, domain, independent variable. Okay, so those are where they come from, and your book went over that in 9A. Really, page 518. Is where it talks about the independent and dependent variable. And I know I put in some questions about that specifically. And then from 9A, I'm trying to find the 9A question. I would really just understand that aspect where when it talks about something being dependent, that makes it the y-axis, that makes it the y value, and it makes it the range. Or if it's the independent, it's going to be the x-axis, it's going to be the domain. Okay, that's straightforwardly on there. Yeah. And then, so that's really all. 9A is not a long section, guys. If you look at it, it's not long at all. 9B, though, is really when you get into the actual equation aspect. Well, hold on. I lied. There was one other thing in 9A. I want to make sure I got it right. Yeah. Okay. I would look at in the homework in 9A, look at numbers like 25. I'm going to give you an even two, 25 and 26, and then also like 29 and 27. I know I said this out of order, but they do a good job of explaining domain, range, independent, dependent, but also they give you a visual. So if I gave you a graph, you would be able to interpret it on what's the y-axis, what's the x-axis, what's the independent and dependent variable, and what's happening to the relationship. As one thing increases, as one variable is increasing, the other variable is increasing as well. Okay, we went over that in 9A, and it's definitely in the homework. At 9B, though, it starts on linear modeling, and I did make this kind of a very straightforward part of the test where you've got a few questions where you have to create the equation for the linear model, where you've got to find the rate of change. Remember, rate of change is just slope. That's going to be on the test. Rate of change is just slope. So you've got to find the rate of change, and then you create the equation. I'll tell you, a lot of times students can read through these types of questions and get it without doing all the math, which I think is understandable, okay? And it's multiple choice, so you can kind of check your way into the answer as well. But you've got to know how to really either interpret an equation if you're going to check your answer, or create an equation, okay, which is answering the question. And then graphically, what linear modeling looks like. Linear modeling in 9B is a straight line, right? Straight line. So it's either going up, right? If the X value is increasing as the Y value is increasing, it's going to go up, right? If you put $10 in your mattress every month or under your mattress every month, it's going to look like this. If you're losing weight and you are starting here and you're losing like 1 pound a week, then that's in exactly 1 pound a week. You're going to have a nice linear, negation line, a negative slope line, right? Because as time goes on, you're going to be going down in a linear pattern. But let's say you just put $100 in your mattress and you don't touch it. Well, linearly, you've got a straight line now, right? There's always $100. It's not going up. Oh, wait, up will be this way. It's not going up and it's not going down, right? Down this way. It's weird seeing a mirrored image and trying to do things with it. But so it's not going down and it's not going up. So therefore, it's flat. It's a flat line. It has no slope, no rate of change. If you just have $100 sitting in a mattress, okay? You're going to have to be able to interpret and graph the slope-intercept form of the line, which is on, I know we went over it. It's between these two pages. Oh, it is not between those two pages. Well, I know we went over it because I remember talking about it. There it is on the bottom of page 531. It talks about the equation of a line. It's talking about slope-intercept form of the line. So I'm going to give you an equation, and it's multiple choice, but you're going to have to choose which one is correct. Okay, what's the intercept, what's the slope, and what's the graph of the line? That will definitely be on there. Sure, I haven't missed anything from this section. Yeah, I mean, the main idea about the difference between linear and then 9C when we get to exponential is linear has a very constant rate of change, right? It's a constant rate of change. It's like if you're modeling a linear form of a savings account, you're putting in a constant change each month. You're adding $10 each month, right? That's a constant rate of change. What's the word I'm going for? A varying rate of change would be like if you deposited $10 one month, $20 the next month, $5 a month after that. So even though you're going up each month, the rate of change is differing each month, right? That wouldn't be linear. Okay, it's got to be the same amount each month to make it a linear rate of change. That's important. It really kind of pops up and really explains like the linear aspect compared to exponential, which, exponential change, it's growing exponentially each month. So, it's going to start off small and then start off small and then it's going to grow exponentially as you keep putting money into like a savings account, right? That draws interest. Yeah, so now let's just talk a little bit about 9C, an overview. You're going to have to know how to create, the main aspect of 9C is creating the exponential equation, the exponential model. which is what your book starts talking about on the bottom of page 540. So knowing that model, what numbers to put in the model, and then how to actually get the value out of it. Okay. And it's what the homework was all about. If you've done the homework already in 9C, you know that's what really this I emphasized in this section. And then also understanding the doubling and half-life model, right? Which is on page 544. So understand that what that model looks like and how you can use that model, how you could actually use the model for a question, right? Where if you knew that the doubling time for a growth is a certain amount, of time, then how much of that growth will we have after Y amount of time, or X amount of time, actually, because X would be time. Really, that's it without just telling you the answers. There's like 23 questions. I actually give you more time because I think these 3 sections deserve more time than 75 minutes. I think I gave you 80 or 85 minutes to get this one done. Oh, 90 minutes. I give you an hour and a half. So if you want to set aside an hour and a half to do this, because you'll get a little more time, so you get 15 extra minutes than a regular test. I can't think of anything else. It'll be nice because it's only over 3 sections. That'll be nice. It's not a longer test. The last test was 3 sections as well. Okay, I'm gonna open it up. You guys are welcome to ask me anything, and I will answer it if it doesn't give away the actual answers on the test. I'll give you some time to think. Okay, hold on. If you don't have any questions, that's fine. I'm going to hold you captive for a minute in here in the Zoom session, because right now we have, what's the word I'm going for? Oh my gosh, we have advising. Our classes are open for the summer and the fall. So you guys, I know some of you, this is your last semester, which is great. You guys need to be going on to other things. But if you're not, you need to get with your advisor as soon as possible to get either signed up for summer classes, if you want to do summer classes, or fall classes before the schedule gets full. I think this semester we're returning more back to a normal schedule, seated more in class classes. And I think we're going to see an increase in the population on campus. Maybe not drastic, maybe not exponential. Nice pun for this class. Horrible joke. But I do think we're going to see classes get full a little quicker because we're really not sure. We're not sure where to put the class sizes right now because if students really just jump back in, full force, then we're going to have to add classes. But if not, we might just keep them at capacity. So I've already told I think I need to email my advisees actually, but you need to get advice as soon as possible so stuff doesn't fill up. Because if you want to take that one class online, I promise if you wait till the week before, you will not, it won't be there online. You'll have to take it seated at 8 a.m. with the instructor that you don't want. Okay. With the intercept and slope chapter, not understanding the graph part. Okay, let me kind of give you an example of the graph part that I'm talking about. I'll give you 2 actually. So remember the y-intercept or the slope formula looks like this: y equals mx plus b, where the slope is m and the b is the y-intercept, right? So if I gave you an equation like y equals 3x minus 2, okay, we know this is going to be our slope, which is our rate of change, right? And this is going to be our y-intercept. So if you're going to graph this, and so what'll happen is I'll have this, and then you'll have, A, B, C, D graphs, and you have to match it. You always start with the y-intercept. So remember, this is our y-axis. That's our range values. And this is our x-axis, our domain values. And we're going to go to -2 on the y-axis. Well, up is going to be positive, down is going to be negative. So you're going to graph right there, -2. So we know this line, it's a linear line, right? Because it's in this form, mx plus b. It's going to be a straight line, going up, going down, going flat, something like that. It's going to be a straight line. But this constant out here without the x and just the number tells us that it goes through y equals -2. I know my line goes through that point. I'm going to put some other digits on here. And now look, the slope, though, tells me the rate of change. So let's talk about that slope for a minute. So if the rate of change is 3, what that really means is it's 3 over 1. So this is the change in the y. Now, I think I used the delta notation. Change in the y. Delta, the triangle means delta in Greek. It means change. And then the 1 is delta x. It's the change in the x. So remember, this is like, I'll tell you, if you told me that you had a rate of change of 3 for your savings account, what that tells me is you're putting in $3 for every 1 month run. So you're going up 3 over 1. That's what slope tells us. So I'm going to go to my y-intercept on the graph, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the rise over the run, okay? I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then over 1. Boom, I've got another coordinate on my graph. So I'm going to start here again. I can do the same thing because remember, this is my rate of change. This is how the change is happening. Up 3 over 1. Boom. And that's my line, okay? Does that, now I'll tell you, Emily, if you're like, man, I just need to see some more. Now, I don't mind doing another one. But if you want to look up you can go YouTube, Khan Academy, whatever you want. You can look up graphing a line using slope intercept form. And you will see 8 million videos pop up, okay? But they're going to look like this in some way, shape, or form. They're going to look like this. Yeah, I got you. Okay. And I'll wait. If you've got more questions, we'll wait here for a minute. I'm going to keep going on my spiel about advising, but just butt in. That was A-okay, Emily. Please, if you find something else you got a question about, ask me. But listen, so you need to get advised, get done ASAP. And I'll tell you, once summer hits, we're not on campus as much as faculty, so it's harder to get a hold of us. So your faculty advisor, and not that we mean to be, it's just that we don't teach in the summer. A lot of us don't teach in the summer, so we take the whole summers off. That's cool. So that's another reason to get with your advisor as soon as possible to get into classes. Okay, now I'm off my soapbox about advising. Any other questions about this or about the class in general? I'll take any questions about the class. Anything at all? Okay, well, I'm going to stick around. So you're more than welcome to leave, but I'm going to stick around. I'm going to stop the stream. So if you have a question, let me know. I am going to stop the video aspect, recording